This week's episode is brought to you by San Francisco. Do you want all the pretentiousness of Los Angeles, but all of the walking of New York? Well, at San Francisco, you can get both in one place. San Francisco. It's like New York, but it closes at 9 p.m. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And I'm Jaime.
And last week we asked, when is Jaime coming back on the podcast? Well, we've answered that question. It's now.
Yay!
Yay!
Did it.
So Senpai noticed me.
You're noticed. This was your idea for the episode, and that episode is when you think of a clan, what are the units you think of, or in a nutshell? Poster children, whatever you want to say.
There's like a million ways to say this.
Yeah. Heroes in the half shell, oysters on the half shell, something like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about this because you'd be surprised if you ask one person and ask another, you'll get slightly or drastic results, depending if they're like a competitive player, a casual player, or somebody that watches the anime, or all the above. So that should be fun.
I think there's also like a pretty drastic difference to like where they put weight on, like especially if the anime and the like competitive card game put let's use Dark Regulars as an example, because like this is one where the anime treats the clan much differently than the competitive environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so people who play competitively and don't really care about the anime, like myself, will think of Dark Irregulars and think of the cards that might be from a more competitive standpoint. But the anime is, like, if they only watch the anime, the cards they're going to think of are the ones the characters play on the screen, especially in the recent episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like cards that were played by popular characters in the past.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
So, basically, in a nutshell, what you're saying is that if you were to walk up to somebody and be like, what do you think of when you play these clans? They'll be like, these three things. So, this is all subjective.
Well, I think, maybe a more useful application was, like, people are deciding what clan to play. Like, here are the units that I think of when I think of this clan, and, like, if these units appeal to you, then you might be interested in the clan.
Yeah.
I think this might be a more useful, activity.
Yeah, that's true.
You can kind of get the aesthetic of it, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you get, like, a lot of the cards that you're, like, the first cards you're going to think of are going to be some mechanically related or have some incredible synergy with said mechanics, or just be, like, headliners of the entire clan.
Yeah.
At least that's what it is for me in my list.
Oh, man, I'm totally doing it wrong then, if that's how it is.
Oh, that'll be fun.
We're going to have very different lists. So there are 24 clans.
That's the fun thing about having 4 people.
Yeah. So there are 24 clans in the game. We each took 6 of them. And, so why don't we just get started? Jaime, your episode, your idea. Why don't you go first?
Sure. So I'm going to start out with Aqua Force.
Of course.
So
Commander
when
Jaime.
somebody...
Of course.
What's that? Yeah. So when somebody approaches me and asks, like, so what do you think of Aqua Force? Immediately, the first unit that comes to my mind is Tidal Assault. To a few people, it's known as Tidal fucking Assault.
What?
And the reason is because some people hate dealing with Tidal. And Tidal, in the sense of a rating, is a good card and is still used in some decks now. A good example is Stavas, and to some extent some Blue Wave lists as well.
I thought Blue Wave's just... I thought he was a 4-of no matter what you're playing.
Yeah, all Blue Wave decks I've seen still play Tidal at 4.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would still play Tidal myself. Yeah. I've seen lists that play a pure Blue Wave lineup, and even with Maelstrom, they just pure Blue Storm lineup kind of thing.
Ooh, that seems rough.
I know. But nonetheless, Tidal's a good card. It does so much because it's synergetic with the clan, because it gets you to the 4th battle. But now, thanks to Alexandros, you can take advantage of that power-up. So, anything you guys want to say about Tidal Assault?
Yeah, Tidal Assault is basically the one card in my Sneak Peek Hall of Fame.
There's a Sneak Peek Hall of Fame.
Like, if you It's the only card in there. It's actually the only card that I've ever seen in a sneak peek that was just like so stupid. Because like you have any other Aquaforce unit in your deck, any other one, you're just like I'm gonna call title, and your opponent's like, well, this game's suddenly difficult because like in most games you don't even ride to grade 3. Like if you've ever played a sneak peek, most people don't. You just sit on 2 because you have like 1 grade 3 in your deck, and especially back in the old days when they didn't print very many common grade 3s like they do now. You just be like, all right, 9, 9, 9, 9. You just can't guard that. You have to like attack it, and you only need 4 damage in sneak peek, so you're just like already almost dead.
Oh wow, I didn't know they did 4 damage only.
Yeah, it's not 6 because your deck's only like 25 or 30 cards or something. So like you don't even play the 6 damage. You just play like 4, and so if title gets 2 in, like he's
already halfway to defeat.
Yeah, a lot of modern sneak peeks are kind of shit because a lot of the cards are GB locked, and there's like it's almost impossible to get GB. Like I strode once in sneak peek, I think, and I didn't even do anything. It was like a vanilla like triple drive.
Yeah. That was like GBT09.
I think whenever I had a sneak peek, everyone was always desperately just being like, "Can we please just play our normal decks instead?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Same here.
Oh, but at the sneak peek for Cosmic Roar, and this is a little off topic, but it'll be a short story. I played the Zeal Legion in my sneak peek deck, so I could Legion to like shuffle triggers back in my deck and cards, so I don't deck out. That's and then I try to call me like, you have to have the mate in your deck, and I'm like, what?
My God, that's crazy.
Yu-Gi-Oh players, man. Yu-Gi-Oh players.
All right, should I go on to the second card then?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, for anyone else.
For me, the next card that comes to mind is Lambros himself. Back in GBT2, Lambros was the stride to go into for Aquaforce, and it got the nickname Lambroke for that very reason.
It was literally the strongest stride in the game when it came out.
Yeah, this
it was also one of the most expensive, which is the other reason why people call it Lambroke.
Oh yeah, you were broke after getting them.
It was like, $30-$40 when he came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed 4? It's like, ugh.
And then, even over time, is like other, like, depending on what the deck was, you could drop them to 2. And then after, set 13, maybe not even run him at all, but, like, good lord, that guy is...
I don't think anyone ever dropped him to 2 until this set.
I think, Blue Wave players dropped him to 2, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I actually took him out.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Blue Wave? Oh, I still had them in Blue Waves.
I know, Carly took out 2.
Fit all these. There's just so much stuff to shove in your deck.
Yeah.
Aquaforce has a lot of strides who all need themselves to flip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aquaforce kind of has a tight G-zone, but now with Alexandros, it somehow freed up space.
Well, because you can flip anything, so depending on what you're playing against, you can flip one thing or another.
Well, that too, but it's also like a Lambros himself.
Yeah.
An easier Lambros, who gives more power.
Yeah.
An earlier Lambros.
That too.
Well, you can use Lambros first stride, you just won't get the 10k power.
Yeah, but who's going to do that, really?
I've seen some first stride Lambroses. They're okay.
I haven't seen them do it.
I'd only do it if you were already at 5 damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean... But you had to like open up Godly for that to happen, and
Night Assault.
just play Ripples.
That's a good example too.
Yeah. Who's your third?
So, yeah, that's what I'd say. So the third card that comes to mind is Savas, mainly because like he is the G-era card, and speaking of Savas, he has many forms, but I'm just gonna say in general. Let's say like the grade 3, it doesn't matter, grade 4, but just Savas himself comes to my mind, and the deck itself too.
His
so I think this
still make. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
His stride skill still makes no sense to me. Like, what were they thinking?
It's about the original one.
Yeah, the one where like you pick 3 things, your opponent retires one, and it's like, why?
Yeah, I think.
Not really
I think they were going off.
That has always kind of been an Aquaforce thing, retiring anyways. That specific form of retire is weird.
Yeah.
I Oh yeah, just for the record, like there might be some lumping in of like different forms.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at earlier.
Like for example, when we get to Kagero, we're not going to try and pick from like 8 gajillion overlords. We're just going to say overlord because that's like
So many overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're up to 11 now.
I think so.
It was like 9 or 11.
Oh boy. And then like all of them are grade 3 or 4, so.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then just out of curiosity, what do you think of this the other grade 3 Thavas?
The new one?
Great.
Yeah.
He's great. He lets you do your turns against control.
Yeah.
Because when the Clan Booster came out, and it was before G-Guards, we had no problem against Link Joker or Kagero at the time. And
yeah, because of Skyrus.
Right, that too. But as long as we could still do our like own turns, we would just beat them anyway.
Yeah.
But as soon as like G-Guard happened, especially cards like the Nile Griffin, we're just like, crap. Now we have to worry about retirement and our own turn too.
Yeah.
But made it a lot harder.
Well, resist force carries on.
Yeah.
The real keyword.
Yeah, like a card I use, and I use it now even more, is Saber Flow, and if they retire your Saber Flow, you're just not going to get advantage.
Yeah.
But now with Alexandros and the new Thavas, you can do Saber Flow much easier and have a big hand.
Saber Flow is a fun card.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that's all I got for Rocket Force.
Let's see, Root Beer, why don't you go next?
Alright. Well, I guess I'll talk about Kagero, because it's the easiest one.
Oh, here we go.
So, the first one I got is Dragonic Overlord, duh. So, I chose Overlord because he is the first grade 3 boss that Kagero had, and he's also the one that's carried over the longest into the G era, so I think he's always been at least close to the meta whenever he's gotten a new form, and then he's still the first thing everyone thinks of when people talk about Kagero.
I agree.
Yep.
And there's also currently 10 of them for Dragonic Overlord.
Oh,
Only
so
10.
It's 10, not 11.
Yeah.
Are there really that many?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the original, the Break Ride,
You do not need to
the
talk about all of
Destiny,
them.
Legend,
Yeah.
Rebirth, Cross,
X,
and
Dove.
Great, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It's the cross, by the way, not the X.
Screw that, it's the X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least that's what it showed up.
yeah, man, I'm gonna upgrade my phone. I'm gonna get the iPhone Cross.
This is just a Japanese thing. They use the letter X whenever they mean cross.
Oh. Well then. I don't care if I'm wrong.
The Japanese card game.
Okay.
Alright. Anyone else have anything to weigh in about Overlord?
I mean, what more do we need to say about Overlords?
Yeah.
It's one of the like.
He's just always around.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I found out that if you search in YouTube Cardfight Vanguard fights, the top result is a Nexus Core video, and it's Overlord versus Blasters, like trial decks, like the Legend decks versus each other. I'm like, oh my god.
Isn't it the most watched video on the channel?
I think so, yeah.
Alright.
So, it's crazy.
So the second card I had was Denial Griffin.
Oh yeah.
So
Spicy one.
yeah. The Denial Griffin was like the first of the second wave G guards after the Fighters Collection, and it was the first thing that directly interacted with the attacking unit on your opponent's turn. We had other things like this promo card for Narukami called, I can't remember what it's called right now, but when you intercept with it, you can counterblast and they retire something that isn't attacking or boosting. And then I think Bellog was already out before this, so
Bellog was
we
out
had ways to interact with the opponent, but never the attacking unit directly in the middle of the battle. So Denial Griffin was the first card that got that. It's still commonly played in Kagero, and it's still something everyone has to think about and plan around whenever they're talking about the Kagero matchup, so...
Yeah.
Oh my god. I remember when this card first came out, everyone was like, oh my god, it's the beginning of the end.
I mean, it kind of was.
Why do you say that?
It hurt.
I think G Guardians were, like, overly strong. I don't think it was just about Denial Griffin in general. I think it was just G Guardians and specifically.
And also, just as the first card of its kind, it also sets a precedent. So I personally call anything that does similar skills to Denial Griffin a denial skill.
Yeah.
Like a disruptive G-Guard.
Yeah. It makes the Vanguard community really confused what control is. Like, it has removal, it must be control. No, that's not how that works.
I mean, the definition of control is it causes your opponent to play differently, right?
Control is a game plan. Control is a game plan, not a single interaction.
A game plan?
Yeah, like in Magic terms, control decks generally play longer, more drawn out game plans in order to play very powerful cards that cannot be trumped easily. Right. So like in Vanguard, people aren't doing that very often. So which is why I don't think there are really very many control decks in Vanguard.
I mean, Link Joker and I guess Mitre Colony, but
well, Link Joker was one of the few clans that could kind of stop the attacks.
Yeah.
Mitre Colony never really did that; even it just pretends to.
Yeah.
And now Link Joker is getting worse at that, so that means they have to play more proactively, right?
Yeah.
So, that's
game just does not reward you for stalling very much.
Nope. I mean, you have to win the game by attacking in 99% of cases. So.
Yeah. Except for.
And then the last isn't any specific card. I just wrote some Seal Dragon thing because everyone keeps memeing this stupid shitty subclan every time there's Kagura support.
Oh my fucking god! Every time somebody asks for Seal Dragon support, I want them to be deleted off the face of the planet.
I faced that recently in CFA, and I'm just like, oh yeah, these things do stuff.
And then you crush them, and you're like, okay, I'll never see that again.
You really couldn't think of anything?
It's like not even useful testing.
Blade Master, Dumb Jid, nothing. Just every Seal Dragon.
some Seal Dragon. You should get the Seal Dragon that unlocks.
Every fucking god damn it.
No, just one.
F minus.
He didn't mean every Seal Dragon. He just means some Seal Dragon. It doesn't matter which one. But not cross origin, because people actually played that at one time.
I like the idea of like all the Seal Dragons being named after fabrics. That was neat, but like, whatever. I think the only Seal Dragon that's actually played is the draw trigger. Like, if you want to play multiple draws, you can play Gatling Claw plus that one.
Cross Origin was played.
Cross Origin was which one?
It was the one that Counterblast 1 gain a crit.
Oh yeah.
Another effect.
Yeah, and then the rest of the effect didn't matter because he didn't care.
Because he didn't have a Seal Dragon heart.
Yeah, but you just make your opponent call a grade 2.
Yeah.
And then if they have 2 or more grade 2, they gain a crit. It's just like, okay.
But it's like a separate sentence. So
what they
like
needed to do was like with any strides or whatever that make you make your opponent call things, they needed to negate the effect. But they never do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, I said Seal Dragons over like Blade Master and all that other crap because people actually talk about Seal Dragons.
People talk about Blade Master too, I guess. Not even Dumb Jid?
Blade Master's dead, dude. That time is come and gone.
Man, that was quick. Yeah.
Blade Master is just always an Overlord shadow.
Yeah.
He had his time in the sun.
Yeah.
And now he's gone.
Yeah. But not even Dumb Jid?
No.
It's a freaking...
No, Dumb Jid sucks.
He was a character on the show. Oh, whatever, fine.
Gonna make the list.
Card is unplayable. If I met that guy, I would be like, "You're an unplayable card. Get out of here."
Dude, I would totally watch the show if like all of the characters actually knew how to play competitively. And so you had like all the villains doing their like campy villainy shit, and then they were like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna."
Chronos playing ZTVs. Oh god.
Yeah, but he's like playing like actually good ZTVs. He's like, "Why can't I kill you? Because I know how to deck build."
Call Hypnosis Sheep. Yeah. Call Hypnosis Sheep. Yeah. Oh god.
Just end your turn with 10 cards in your hand all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Is that all you have for Kagero?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with a random one on my list. I guess Spike Brothers.
Yeah.
So the first one is Rising Nova. So this is the headliner due to the clan. He does this even if his skills, like his GB2 skills, like whatever, like it's like the standard Spike Brothers shove a card from hand into soul thing, call a guy. But what's really important is that there's the units that are centered around him, specifically Frog Raider.
Oh yeah.
which is a grade 1 7K that whenever a unit with the charge ability is placed in front of him, well, whenever a unit is placed in front of him and that unit is charging, and you have a Rising Vanguard, you can stand Frog Raider. But the idea is that every single competitive or semi-competitive Spikes deck at this point is going to be playing Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High living proof.
When he first came out, I was actually wondering, like, is there a Rising deck that's better than Bloody End? You know, the Break Ride Legion deck from eras past. And that was when I first found Proof's video, I think, about him doing the shield math between average Bloody End turn and average Miracle Ace turn. And it was pretty apparent to everyone that Miracle Ace was going to be the go-to guy for the new stuff.
Yeah.
And it turned out that Miracle Ace was better. And then now, you can still kind of Miracle Ace. You kind of fake it. But the real important guy, so this is my second card on the list, is Hateful Eight. Or not Hateful Eight. Whatever his name is.
Hellheart 8.
Hellheart 8. Sorry, I was thinking of the Quentin. Never mind.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
But, yeah, so Hellheart 8 is the other card. It basically just enables huge combo turns for Spike Brothers. And so if somebody were interested in Spike Brothers, I'd be like, check out this card. You're basically going to build a deck centered around activating, aka getting GB8, and playing out this card.
I remember when they first revealed this, and everyone was like, well, this is really good, but how are you going to get to GV8? And then Proof was like, challenge accepted.
Well, most people, I think, well, I guess minus Facebook, some Facebook groups, which will not be named, cough, cough, it was pretty clear that if you had access to things like Mecha Trainer or Conroe, that getting GB8 is much easier than if you don't. Mm-hmm. But what was even better is that the unflipped G-Guard from the Fires collection for Spike Brothers was quite good.
Linus, right?
Yeah, Linus. I don't remember his name, but we just call him Varsity Linus.
Yeah. And then the heel trigger was JV.
If
Linus.
that card was a much worse G-Guard, I think this deck would be hurt a lot more. Because you're just going to lose too many cards guarding otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, my third card is Mecha Trainer, because the card is stupid.
Yeah.
So Kagro all has Conroe, which was banned at one point because it made Novell too good back in Limit Break era. And then they unbanned him just recently. I guess 6 months ago or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, they finally decided, Novell was ages ago. We should probably get Conroe back in play.
Yeah, also Kagro was nowhere near good.
Mm-hmm.
So they need a lot of help, and Conroe, once Conroe is unbanned, it was clear that you'd be playing Conroe. Especially the fact that the deck was when Blademaster first rose, very heavily reliant on G-Guards, and so you need a way to consistently get a heal. Well, when you want to obtain GB8, finding a heal is extremely important. And not only finding one heal, but finding multiples. So,
and he wasn't limited to one, so you could just run 4.
You just play as many Mecha Trainers as possible, aka 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of decks cutting them down to 3. Seems loose to me, but whatever.
I mean,
I don't know the number. I assume living through.
Now that we have the new heals that you can bind them countercharge, since it has Dudley in its name, you can use Jelly Beans to search it out instead of Mecha Trainer.
That's disgusting.
So, yeah. So that's why Proof has been testing out with less Mecha Trainers, is he's decided to use Jelly Beans to find the heals instead.
I see.
I mean,
well, that's pretty good.
I'm surprised you didn't put Frog Raider. For a second, I thought Frog Raider was your second one, and it was just a side note. But
is he playing any of the Dudley Grade 2? Any of them, so you can make it a ride fixer as well?
Oh, the 10K Monty,
10K?
right?
There's a 10K Dudley Monty, and then there's a 9K Dudley Mason that's quite good.
Yeah.
I think he was testing out with Monty. I don't remember his list right now, though.
I think...
I think the 10K.
Oh, okay.
Look, the point of this whole conversation is go watch Living Proof's channel, because he doesn't have enough subs.
Yeah, all the 3 of these cards that I think headline the clan are very related, and although came out in pretty wildly different eras.
Yeah.
Actually,
He plays exactly one Monty.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he does. That's exactly what I would do.
I'm wondering if there was It's a Wonderful Life situation and Proof didn't exist, would Spike Brothers combos like this be as apparent?
Yes, the Japanese players, at least from my observations, love silly combo decks in Vanguard.
Yeah.
and will go out of their way to find them. Like, Japanese players figured out the stupid end of stage combo for Pale Moon like the day the card was revealed.
Oh, I remember that. That was funny.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, they will find it, regardless of if it's good or not. They just need to know.
The worst version of Taken ever. I will look for you, I will find you, and I will meme you.
That will mean.
Alright, so I guess it's my turn. I'll start with the Deer Chronicle, which is arguably the nutshell of Vanguard itself at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So starting off, you have the not late and really great Chronojet Dragon G, or just Chronojet in general, because why wouldn't you? This was revealed as how to stride in general for Vanguard, because this was the first G trial deck along with Neonectar and Royals, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's also, it's the main character's avatar card. I just did air quotes, but no one's going to see that because why would you?
I saw it.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, for a Strider still, both in his original form and, in the second form, are very good. They're not, bad, they're not amazing, but they're just good. Put something on bottom or, call a thing and then time leap it. And it was a ZTB. You know what? Fine. It's just what it does. The second one, and this, I can hear salt pouring from wounds all across the world. Hetero Round Dragon. Yay. This was made literally to resolve a plot hole in the anime. Right?
Sure was. Yeah, he needed to win against Demiurge.
Yeah. Demiurge being a card that could stack 12 cards on top of your deck in any order, meaning that you can trigger whatever you want. So Chrono goes into this G-Guard, which then takes a rear guard and puts it back and shuffles. And then calls the top
Demiurge
card.
is only the way it is because Chrono needed to be able to beat it. Otherwise, it probably would have been an instant win condition.
Yeah.
That's true.
What would you... What do you mean? What kind of instant win condition?
Who knows? If you have 13 different Zodiac time beats with different names, you win the game or something stupid.
Mm-hmm. Probably something stupid like that.
Actually, considering that there's that deleter stride where it's 13 vanished deleted cards, I can totally see that being the case.
But what would be it would be so easy to binded though, because your opponent just can't deal with it.
Yeah. Honestly, Gear Chronicle, at the beginning it seemed like it was going to be a kind of board removal clan, and they switched it to Time Leap, which then didn't... they have that in there just because as, a control element. And yes, I know this doesn't fit Matt's definition of control, but it... the second you see them
just call it what it is. It's a removal spell.
What?
Just call it what it is. It's a removal spell. You just point at your opponent's unit and it goes away.
Yeah. The worst thing is, with Denial Griffin, you're retiring the attacking unit, but this can guard one thing and spin another.
Oh, that's the most filthy.
Ridiculous, for sure. And also, as a Great Nature player, I'm just glad that now we have another form of Crayon Tiger that I can give resist to. So I can screw this thing over, because the amount of times I've had my Crayon Tiger spun is, way too much.
No, man, just make your 100k unit that can't be can't be targeted by any card effects.
Oh god, fuck that so hard.
Do it, you won't.
Okay, is having next stage as my third one a cop out, or
no?
No,
it kind of is Chronojet, but not really.
It's future Chronojet.
Is that what Stride is? Where it's the future?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
It's
Fine.
some kind of dumb shit like that.
Next stage is my third one. So next stage was, wasn't it yet another GR Stride that had to flip itself, so it was already expensive from the get-go?
Storm, Dominator, Thavas.
Yeah.
It wasn't expensive at first. It was until it got out of print.
That clan booster went out of print and that card just started spiking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
next stage was
set 4 was when Chronojet finally started to get good, so next stage was $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good lord.
and then they were like, wait a second, why are we making these, like low print run cards, like make them flip themselves?
Yeah.
And they decided that was a bad idea.
With
It only took them until G set 7.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, with the next stage was the first like restanding stride, right? Or
No.
No, they had the ace in set 1.
oh,
I believe there was. Wait, what G set was Murakumo?
3?
Well,
I think it was Murakumo.
Well, no, it
was,
doesn't matter. The ace was in set 1.
Right. Well, the ace.
No,
The ace was a PR.
it was a fighters collection.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
The ace was the
I'm pretty sure it was a GR in set 1.
No, there was the GR in set 1 was Chronos Command.
that's true.
The only
I
GR
don't-
in set
let me
1 was
check.
Chronos Command.
I thought
The ace was a fighters collection, and then it was a
Yeah,
Fighters
it was
Collection
like-
2015.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But there was a Homer Raider anyway, so it doesn't
that's
matter.
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? How memey of them.
Oh, Murakumo sitting at the not top at all, because that card sucks. I
Yeah.
will admit the stand trigger in that set, he done Stroll, was actually pretty good.
That's true.
It's just Murakumo sucks.
I was probably thinking about the cross in set 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not quite a stride.
That was not a stride, but still Overlord.
Yeah, so I believe he might have been the second or third restanding stride. I think the ace might have come out right before it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was too long ago.
And to the people out
Yeah.
there who are like, "Oh, but it doesn't restand him; it restands the Great Three." Fuck you.
Who cares?
No.
No.
Oh wait, no, it couldn't have been the first restanding stride. I forgot Victoplasma.
Oh yeah,
Right.
What's in GBT01?
That's what I
of
was
course.
thinking. That's what I was thinking of. That was in set 1.
Yeah, I forgot Novigraph was a clan.
yeah.
I was like,
if I
man.
was doing the Gear Chronicle list, I would have just said Chronojet, Melum, and TikTok.
I remember I was sitting here like, man, all these cards are just like Victoplasma. And it took me like 5 more minutes to realize that Victoplasma fits all these properties.
I thought about Melum and TikTok, but like the fact that like we've kind of moved away from them with
Right.
CTPs has
Right.
kind of made me change it.
I agree with Chronojet G as number 1. I think that is like the most important card right now.
Yeah, and then Header around, he's going to be around for a long time.
The card does what it does.
Does what it does, and Jaime, it's your turn again.
Cool. Doing Nubatama. So the first, what's that?
That's a clan.
Yes.
Was that a question or a statement?
That's a question.
It was like right on the
Yes.
line. Okay, whatever.
So yeah, Nubatama. The first card that comes to mind now is Shiranui. He is the Break Stride, and what comes to mind first is Ouroboros now, because Dominate has become such a more of a mainstream thing for Nubatama now, especially with a lot of players trying out Nubatama since the trial deck in the G-Set 11.
Yeah.
And it's a good card. It's a free on-stride, dominate something, and attack any unit, and give it +4 too. And then it has the Shiranui name for the other regards that require it too.
I just like that you can just call things from drop so that you have something to dominate. Like Bushiroad thought ahead on this one.
Yeah, I like that too, where it's like you can dominate something for sure,
Yeah. Although,
especially against Granblue and Pale Moon.
yeah, although this is definitely something that I'm sick of explaining. Everybody out there, when the Shiranui Oboro makes you call a thing from drop zone, the opponent, meaning the original owner of that card, is still the owner, so they can do any on-call skills. It's not yours yet until you strike.
Right.
Do you
It
understand?
does not
Good
say
moving
to
on.
call the unit and
Wait,
dominate.
but
You
I
do not
called
own
it with
just
my
because
skill.
It's your skill.
But I called it with my skill, Atlas.
God. You know what?
We've killed
So
him.
yeah.
Okay.
So I have a bit of a tie with 2 and 3.
Okay.
I think if you guys remember Tamahagane, the bear
Oh yeah, that card's sweet as shit.
Yeah, the bear.
The bear.
Yeah.
I love the bear.
The one that on call buying something.
Oh yeah, I love that card.
Yeah. And it was used since the beginning of time of Nubatama.
True. Well,
And-
that's not true, but it's mostly true. I'll give it to you.
I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't show up till set 13, I thought.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because
Nubatama
set
didn't even
13
exist between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, set 13 was the second set Nubatama got.
Yeah.
It was the only set they had within a deck.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. And that's
And the
how I
word-
started it.
In the words of Paul F. Tompkins, number 1 with a bullet, the bear.
Yeah, that bear is sweet. The bear's kind of annoying if they don't have a starter that's like that calls itself out. It's not a forerunner.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, no, they've countered my bear.
Yeah, and if you pair it up with the original starter at Koroku, I think it's how you say it.
Oh,
And if
the fox.
The one
thing?
if you hit, you can Soul Blast one and kill something in the binding zone.
Yeah.
Actually, you kill two. You kill two things. Yeah.
I've never killed two things with that.
And
with
then,
It's the sweetest feeling.
and then with After Image and the G technical booster, it was a way for you to rush early, and then you could put your units back into your hand with After Image so they couldn't attack it and deny you counter blasts.
In the grade
Yes.
1, whose name escapes me at this point, the on play counterblast 1, if your opponent has 3 or more cards in hand, they bind your cards in their hand. Were the only ways to enable After Image, like before Stride.
You talking about Fuki?
Yeah.
It's an act, and
Wait.
yeah, it's 3 or more.
Yeah, it had a misprint that said 3 or less, which
Yeah.
made it
Mhm.
really busted. And then everyone was like, no, wait, it's 3 or more.
Thank you, Bushiroad SEA.
What? I
What
mean,
does the SEA stand for again?
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So-
Eight.
That's why there's so many misprints. We get shitty Singlish translations.
Yeah, people in
Yeah.
Singapore can't speak any language well, so
Vaguely racist, but moving on. What's your third one?
no, it's vaguely Singapore.
My third one is the Stride. Sukumoroken? I think that's how you say it.
Sukamorkon?
Moricon or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the GR from the Reckless Rampage.
Oh, yeah. This is
I
the
almost
bind all
like
but 4, right?
All
What's
but
that?
all but
Yeah.
3 or 4? Which one?
4.
Yeah. You keep 4 cards, bind the rest of your hand.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So he came out right before the G Guards, I think, too. Yeah. And
That's
so
right.
people were like, "Oh shit!" Probably one of their attacks is a guarantee on hit, basically, because of the only thing to really guard with was like a PG and 10k triggers.
Yeah.
But now G Guards have made it a lot easier to guard against.
I mean,
this guy.
this was also combined with the original Shiranui, which was on Stride. You make them. Is it bind a card on field and make them drop a card or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go down to 4 to 3, and then hopefully they die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you had, I think you could, you do Fuki too, because it's the 3
Yeah.
or more.
You can do Fuki once to get them down to 2 cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
And
that's a
then I
lot of
think the
counterblasts
Amber
at that
Zone
point.
could get them down.
That's
Yeah,
like
you pretty much-
You're
5
basically
counters.
spending all your counterblasts and hoping for an OTK.
I mean,
Yep.
it's a way to do it. It's a good thing this thing's getting reprinted in GBT 14 because it's very expensive. It's like $40.
Yeah,
Um,
something like that.
it's one of those things where, like, if you can't
And-
afford it, it's not the worst thing in the world, but like, it's really good.
Nubatama is this weird clan
But,
that's like
What?
it's like really popular because it has like ninja dragons and everyone wants to feel cool. I don't know.
I think it's the hand.
And also, it was this
So we-
like neglected
we-
clan, so people kind of meme it too.
Right.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, Nubatama is probably gonna go back to the discard play style since anime writing, he's a good guy again.
Wait,
Well-
so Dominate was just like an analog for the diff writing thing? That was it?
Probably.
Surely not.
Yeah,
They just
Oh.
can't make them go back to that.
I have
yeah,
two
I think
things
it was
in mind for
evil or something.
Well, they did say they were supporting both After Image and Dominate
Yeah.
in the set. And then we noticed the art with Shiranui. I think he still has the third eye,
Mhm.
which is to dominate. So maybe he'll still dominate I don't know.
He'll dominate and
knows?
discard. Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh.
Please
Copy
calm down.
nice.
That's probably what they need in order to be relevant. But
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, what you got for us, Troop here?
All right. Let's do DI. So the first thing I said was Enigmatic Assassin.
Whew.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So that's the one that's obvious. When it first came out, it could be used as a 20k booster for Gilderise, which was still the only finisher DI had for a long time. So I think this is in the same set that we got the second wave G guards. So, you know, they just came out with G guards. It became easier to guard Gilderise, and then immediately after, we got Enigmatic Assassin to make Gilderise hard to guard again.
Yeah. Oh, Enigmatic Assassin.
I like
And
that.
then nowadays we have the Demagogue Assassin loop, so you just turbocharge your deck, gain like plus 17 or something to your front row at least, and then just pop out 37 plus K assassins.
Over and over again. And then your last attack is like a grade 3 Sharhot that they can't guard zeros with. Ah.
Yeah.
So great. So amazing. Oh, Blade Wings.
So what were you gonna say, Matt?
It's funny how fast the Fighters Collection 2017 made Gilderai go from automatic 4 of to you can play 2. So it's like there are just 1-card guards for like an assassin Gilderai.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like why?
Mostly
Yeah.
the Gear Chronicle one where you can just be like, alright, it's late in the game, fucking, it's a 55k shield.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Nuluru.
But also just like over the course of the game, gaining advantage has gotten easier, so G-guarding twice is possible, or just having enough grade zeros to drop on Gilderai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although,
Especially if you miss the assassin turn or the demagogue turn.
Gilderai is still on my list, and he was the second one. So,
Oh, he's your second one?
All right.
yeah. Gilderai came out in GBT03, so for a very long time, he was the only finisher that DI had, because this was before G-Guard, so as soon as I got to 15 soul, you were kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah.
And then it lasted up until set 11 when we got Blader Mouse, and America got the Were-Tiger Jaeger to make the enigmatic spam more consistent.
Yeah.
And then this was right after the Fighters Collection to make him obsolete. But I think because he was the main finisher for so long, I think people still associate the clan with him, so that's why I put him on my list.
Could see that. Way to go, child murderer.
And then the last one I chose is Blade Wing Sullivan, because the Blade Wings are currently the most relevant DI deck.
That's fair.
And then I think for a while it was the most relevant DI deck anyways, because once G-Guard started coming out, I think Amon got weaker, even though he still had the early rush potential, and then whenever I was testing decks on Airy and stuff, all I ever saw was Blade Wings.
Yeah, because they're good.
Mm-hmm. So that plus 10k shield is very relevant for defense.
Yeah, and even like it's easily like it remedied, I guess, by multi-attack decks. It's still good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but I think around the time of that Fighters Collection, high power columns were still the meta, weren't they?
they were, yeah. But I mean, like nowadays,
So, yeah,
it's
I
all
think
about multi-attacks. But even then, like
Yeah.
the fact that you can,
Well,
what?
that's the thing. Now the meta has shifted back towards like advantage gaining and high power columns, so I think Sullivan will be able to kind of last through this particular meta.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are so many iconic cards in DIs. There's, like, all the Sharhot stuff. There's Were-Tiger Jaeger.
There's Amon.
There's Blader Mouse, etc. Moving on.
Yeah. All right. So my next one is what should I pick? I'm just gonna pick Nova Grappler or something.
Okay.
So I chose these 3 things because one of them's kind of memey, but the rest of them are more legit. So the first one is Favorite Champ Victor.
Okay.
It's like basically the only thing that people think of when they think of Nova Grappler right now. They're like, oh yeah, that's the clan. That's the clan that like tries to set up Favorite Champ Victor and hope to win the game. And then what else do they do? Oh, resand stuff.
I like how it's not even, like, the whole Victor line, just Favorite Champ. Like,
Right. It's just, like It doesn't matter what victor you're on, really.
Yeah.
It just matters that you end up at favorite champ.
Yeah.
And you can use favorite champ in any Nova Grappler deck, so you don't even have to use the grade 3 victor if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Genius.
And I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. So.
Wait, you just you restand over and over to the point where, like, drive -2 every time, but people would restand him anyway because it's still an attack. So you're like,
yeah,
screw it.
And more importantly, him restanding means you can keep going with the loop.
The loop?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you have counterblasts and discards, you keep restanding him until you either run out of resources or they die.
Yeah, exactly. What's your second one?
My second one's Cool Hank.
Oh yeah.
This is like one of my favorite cards because it has the stupidest name. Like, I mean, the card's like pretty good on its own. Like, as far as Amber clones go, and Amber clones are not that great anymore because there's a lot of field commitment. Yeah. But this one has a cool name.
Yeah.
In fact, the coolest name is Cool Hank.
I'm surprised it wasn't memed with like Hank Hill memes that are already flying around.
Like,
God damn it, Bobby.
Propane.
But yeah, so that's my second one. He played a pretty vital role, and I think he still does.
But yeah, you see
imagine this.
him in decks from time to time.
I think nowadays people aren't using him as much because he needs a booster, so people are just using Aberrail instead.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's fair. Aberrail's pretty good. And the last one
and
is
then now
Ashura.
we have. Oh, I was saying now we have a new grade 2 that does the same thing without needing to be boosted. So carry on.
My last one is Ashura Kaiser because, man, this card, the anime played a whole lot of this card and no one else did. It makes you feel bad for the guy.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, Kamui played him a lot or something, or
no? Kamui played him at the very start, and then everyone decided that this card sucked. This was like the Nova Grappler guy. And they even gave him a new form. That also didn't matter. In fact, it was like the only card in that set that didn't matter.
What was the set?
It was Champion of the Cosmos, the ones that had Blouse in it.
Oh, yeah.
One of the triple R's was like the alternate, the cross-ride Ashura Kaiser. It just didn't matter. It's so sad.
What a shame.
No, this is the standard when you drive check a grade 3, do some bullshit that every clan has. But this one is like more notable than the rest of them for whatever reason. Not really sure why.
They gave him another grade 3 and they gave him a stride and it still didn't do anything. What a shame.
He's also a Kaiser if that's important for any of your archetype support. It could be
Extreme fight.
Yeah, right.
God.
That'd be cool. What's that grade 2 for the Robos?
Which grade 2?
The one that soul charges and counter charges when it's
Jive Bazooka?
That Bazooka. So will that work? And it counts as a grade 3, doesn't it?
I think it needs Die Kaiser.
Not Kaiser, yeah. Shame.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Because
So
it counts as the grade 3 too.
Oh, yeah. That'd be so nice. But I think there's some Narukami stuff that needs Kaisers.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so it's even more general. Because I think Vermilion and his cross ride and all that.
No, it's both just Kaiser.
Oh, they're both just Kaiser?
Yeah,
Alright, so you can use Die Bazooka with Vermilion on your Vanguard circle. Good to know.
Alright, my turn again. I got Neo Nectar, which I'm sure I'm going to get this wrong. But starting off, I have White Lily Musketeers Cecilia. So a little history lesson for you folks. Musketeers were kind of the only thing you could do in like the early days of Neo Nectar, aside from like Arboros Dragon, I guess. But she was like their main grade 3, and then like Musketeers got more support over time. But this is just kind of like the first one that people associate with the clan, I think.
And she just got a new stride, so
she did, yes. And Musketeers got more support, and yeah. So
nice.
that's coming out in the Zoo Booster, so that's fun. Not much to say about her though, aside from just like yay history. Second one, and this is what I meant when I said that I totally misconstrued what Jaime was talking about in Heyo Pineapple.
Hey, this card's sweet. What are you talking about? This card's amazing.
Okay, so Gabe, to listeners of the show have been around for a while. Gabe used to be a co-host here. Neonectar is his main clan. The reason he started playing the clan like permanently was because of Heyo Pineapple.
Heyo Pineapple's lit.
Yeah. And then now, there's like, in the Zoo Booster, there's a stand trader that's a mango, and now he wants to make a deck that's completely fruits and vegetables. And he's gonna do it, so, yeah. So, Heyo Pineapple...
Like garbage.
What?
It sounds like it will be garbage.
Oh, totally. But it's biodegradable, so...
Alright, but this card was unique in the sense that, like, it counted your Vanguard for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And the rest of them didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it needed four or more Neonectar units or something, or three or more other units, where the other ones need, like, 3 or more other rear guards.
Yeah.
It was, like, very strange.
Hey, yo, having a blast? That's the fucking flavor text. And he's listening to, like, an iPod. They put and he's got pineapple grenades. I don't understand.
Look, man. What do you need to understand?
He's a pineapple. And it's about as close as that Bushiroad is going to get to smoke weed every day. So, that's good.
You don't know that.
Oh, God. Is there going to be like a Kush one or something?
Ooh, maybe.
Oh,
So what's your third card?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
What is your third card?
You have to ask Asha. Duh.
Oh, okay. So the third one's normal.
Yeah, third one's normal, but like the first two, I had to make it kind of memey just because it. When I think of Neonectar, I think of Gabe, and when I think of Gabe, I think of memeing until my head explodes. So, yeah, Asha is like the main strider, and basically like, she has a really good new grade 3, and I feel like there's a contender in there after the Zoo Booster. But yeah, I like that they made her blue. They like changed the color over time. Neato. And that's about it.
Alright.
I mean,
I made it to you.
Oh, I'm next.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going over Granblue.
Oh, here we go. That's your other big one.
So what comes to mind first right away is Night Rose. Night Rose is kind of like the waifu of Granblue, and also it's the most competitive variant right now for Granblue.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people still play Night Rose here and there, but it has died down over the past couple of sets now.
I'm still seeing it topping in Japan like pretty consistently.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I should have said.
I have the new stride to work with too.
That's true.
Yeah.
We are getting that in English though.
Yeah, it is confirmed now.
It got confirmed at the time of recording this morning, and I nearly painted the garage. I like how everybody just knows what that means. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, because like in GPT 14, they're gonna come as like promos or something like that. Harry and the Night Rose. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of annoying how they're releasing those, but that's a separate discussion.
Yeah. It hurts my wallet. That's all it does.
Mine too.
So the second... What?
I said mine too.
Nothing.
Yeah. Was it Harry? Yeah.
And I got rid of Night Rose a long time ago, so I don't have to worry about this. I just have to worry about supporting Brave and probably Gasteel with the actual set.
Yeah. Anyway, so Night Rose is cool.
Yeah. My second choice is Gauche.
Gauche.
Stride.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was basically the stride that made Night Rose into an actual thing, because before GBT08, it was pretty much 7Cs, the stride version.
That was a fun deck. I had a good time with that one.
I still play here and there. I still have it. Yeah.
How is it?
It lacks the disruptive play that Night Rose is known for.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that can just make a difference in certain matchups.
I bet.
Yeah. But with Gauche, pretty much Gauche is a staple in any Granblue deck because you can just massively call a field for one counter blast and assault blast.
It's a Pale Moon card, but better.
Pretty much, yeah, and it gives power on top of it.
Yeah.
So
I remember
that way you can save. Oh, I was just gonna go on saying that way you can save your counter blast for your battle phase, so you can multi-attack.
I remember when it came out in GBC08, people were like, "Okay, this is fine, I guess, but it's not that good." And it was like $5, and then people started figuring it out. And we were like, "Oh, it's make
It
a
took
field,
English a while.
then start attacking because Nedrobone and everything else in between."
Yep.
So good, so good.
Card.
I got you.
So the third card is good old Chappie.
Oh no.
So I think when Granblue first came out, it was definitely a card that was played off because it was a selective mill from your deck.
Yeah.
So that way you can get those correct cards in your drop zone as soon as you can. But over time, it did lose its usefulness, and then eventually it came back with Seven Runner mainly. Yeah. That way,
people do play it in Night Rose too to get their combo pieces faster.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. And then certain other decks like Night Rose, we're starting to play it more for that very reason too. Consistency and that first action is very important. So Chappie helps in getting the King Serpent.
Yeah.
And it's also something you can do where you can call it back with the Fighters Collection G Guard if you were really needing a combo piece.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool too. You could fetch the one-ofs in your deck too, because like right now most Night Rose decks are playing like 3 Seawall and one of the regular PGs that can just perfect guard from anywhere.
Wait, really? They're not doing the unflip PGs anymore?
No.
Why is that?
Not as much anymore. Ichi. OTT.
That makes sense. Okay.
And then Drag Strider.
That too. Wait, Drag Strider makes it so you can't use PGs. What do you care?
Right. From hand.
Can you use Seawall from not
the
hand?
one normal PG they would superior call from the drop zone with the Fighters Collection G Guard.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that part. Yeah. It was just the Seawall part.
Oh. It was mainly Seawall's for the recyclability against Ichi.
Yeah. And
then the other PG was for the Drag Strider cards and whenever you needed a perfect guard with a G Guard.
I see. Okay. Yep. Actually, I have a fun story about Chappie. So, Granblue was my first clan, and it became my first clan because of the flavor text on Chappie, because I was like, his art's kind of stupid, but just the flavor text, yo ho ho, I'll take you along to hell. I'm like,
yeah, it was very creepy.
I'm on board, you know. No pun intended. Yeah, so, hooray. History times with Nexus at night.
That's what I got.
Root beer again.
I'll do Shadow Paladin. So the first one I had was Phantom Blaster Dragon. So he was the original grade 3 boss for Shadow Paladin, and every time he got a retrain, he would become meta.
Wait. Yeah. Thinking about it. PVD, PBO.
Phantom Blaster Abyss.
Phantom Blaster Abyss.
And then Phantom Blaster Diablo.
Damn, you're right. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's why he's on my list, is he has OG credit for being the first boss, but also because every time he gets retrained, he becomes meta.
That's something that not a lot of cards can boast.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you get a retrain, you become meta. Thinking about it, I don't think there's any other cards that have that ability. Nobody?
I don't know. Was the Rebirth with the Dragonic Overlord break right meta at all? Rebirth with what's it called?
Rebirth was never meta.
Okay then. So Overlord cannot say that.
Yeah. So hooray for them. Or him. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the second one I chose was Aura Geyser because he was and still is the only first stride that matters for Shadow Paladin.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
And then the last one is Luard because he's the current grade 3 boss, and then for a while, once Luard got the Owl, the wall Luard deck that could just draw a million cards and keep recycling every turn was meta. And then after that started to fall off, people figured out the Grozny loop with Curse Eye Raven to prop him back up into the meta for a bit. And then once he started falling off again, he got Drag Strider, and then for a little bit he was doing okay before Link Joker killed him.
Poor bastard can't catch a break.
Happens.
I just love his art. The one hand is a dragon and everything else isn't. And then every time you see him, he's got more dragon parts on him.
Yeah. Drag Driver is an awful card, though. Always has been.
Yep. I would say always will be, but I've been kicked in the nuts with that before, so. Matt, it's your turn.
Alright, so I'm going to pick Angel Feather next, because why not? The first card is Doctoid Referus, because this is like the only card that matters in this entire clan. It's like a counter charge, gain a bunch of power, do a bunch of other stuff, put a bunch of stands in your deck, whatever you want to do.
Responsible for a loop by itself. Done.
Yeah, it was responsible for a loop by itself with Nurse of Broken Heart, and it got restricted to 1 because no one wanted to sit around through the loop. Even though the loop is not super OP, people just don't want to sit through that shit.
Yeah.
So Bushido was like, alright, get out of here. I mean, there's a Neonectar 1, but nobody plays Neonectar, so it's
yeah.
And
that did get banned in Japan too. It just never reached America because we were too stupid to figure it out.
well, also just no one plays.
Yeah, and also because no one plays it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Elizabeth loop with Maidens of No Damage.
yeah, so there's Doctor Referus. You got something to say, Jaime, about this one?
No, I was just saying if it was like the Neonectar one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have put
wasn't
Elizabeth
both right.
The main
Yeah,
point is that
Elizabeth
nobody.
was the Neonectar stand.
No, I mean, like, maybe I should have put that as one of the things, but guess not.
Too late.
Whatever. Too late to go back now.
Too late.
We're
to
almost halfway
apologize.
All right. So the other one is No-Seal. Some No-Seal.
Mhm.
Pick your favorite. Doesn't matter. The grade 1, sure. Mostly
I
because
feel like all the no-CLs, though.
yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
still
not
feel,
the grade 2, but the grade 3 and the grade 1.
somehow
sure.
this still might be the best first stride in the clan is the No-Seal grade 4, but never mind. But the reason I say No-CL is because this was like the best deck for like a really long time. It was so fast, gained so much advantage, and like didn't need to wait to gain advantage.
Why? Because you could just do it on grade 3 ride and then just start.
Yeah, you should start doing stuff.
Yeah.
I think No-CL is it's my personal favorite of the grade 3s, and the other one is
I think it's still the only meta Angel Feather deck, because I think when Angel Feather was topping right after set 13, it was all no-CLs.
was it? That's funny.
Wait, Angel Feather was topping after set 13 in Japan?
I think it either like placed into top 8 or like topped a little bit. I don't remember, but either way, it was all no-CLs, I think.
Neato.
Jesus.
What's your third one?
My third one is just Gabriel. One of them, probably the Stride. I don't really care.
I would have put Broken Heart
I was
over
gonna say, what the
over
hell?
Gabrielle.
I'm not
honestly.
even sure how important Broken Heart is going to be in the future, so I was like, I'm just going to pick Gabriel. Because, well, Nurse of Broken Heart kind of just gives you the idea of what the clan is doing, but Gabriel is really just about, well, here's the rescue mechanic, right? You want to do this a lot. Because this mechanic is, like, pretty good, and the Gabriel Stride has one of the, what they're not printing anymore, Battle Phase rescues. Which is kind of the point. But yeah, I agree that it probably should be. But that's not what I put it as.
And when I think of Angels, I just think of Broken Heart because you put that in pretty much every single build, no matter what it is.
I think the rescue build doesn't use Broken Heart anymore. I think No-CL
Really?
will still use it.
Oh my god, I didn't know that they just took that out. That's so crazy.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at any rescue builds because no one has topped with any of them.
Touche.
Yeah. I think Angel Feather's pretty weak right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the main one, if you look at those cards, like you get an idea of what the deck wants to be doing. You want to be gamma swapping a lot. You want to be turning that into power or turning it into additional triggers somehow.
Angel Feather's the new OTT. Who's with me?
Angel Feather's pretty bad. I'm not sure if they're the worst. Murkumo still exists.
Yeah.
I never said.
I mean, they can get top 8 in tournaments, which with no CL at least, so that means they're not horrible. But
true. Yeah, Tier Zoo should just do a fucking episode on us on Vanguard. Be the worst Tier Zoo episode ever. Everyone would be like, "Why?" I like Tier Zoo. Anyway, Mega Colony, because again, I don't care much about Mega Colony, but the first one is Darkface, and I'm lumping in Darkface Redora on top of that. So
it's fine.
Yeah, because they all share the name, and it's just the face of the clan, and literally like 2 of the characters both play Darkface cards. So also literally are those cards because diff writing. I always liked Darkface's GB2 of the Soul Blast 2 rest something when something gets played. I wish they capitalized on that more so that you could like play this weird control game of like, oh, you call something that's not attacking this turn, and then I can stun it over and over. But they didn't really do much with it.
Right.
Gridor is kind of neat that you can like absorb a counterblast, I guess you could call it. And that's the first card in the game to do something like that, where you can literally mess with counterblast like that. There are cards that can artificially give you damage, but not take away a counterblast.
Mm-hmm. And then they did absolutely nothing with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but like a bunch of the support relies on your opponent's damage being face down, but they only gave you Gridora to do it.
Yeah. I think it's like another thing with Nubatama. Like Nubatama, they were afraid to like do a lot of the discarding stuff, and I think they're afraid to like mess with your resources. Yeah, like the only resource, quote unquote, that they're okay with messing with is the drop zone, and even then, not that much. So, yeah. Second one, Machining Destroyer, because this was super funny when it first came out, because people didn't really know how to play against it, which is like, okay, you can stun your Vanguard. And then that came with, wait, if I stride, it comes in rested? No! Insert, oh my god, meme. It did need, 4 cards on the board, which is hard to maintain, which is also why you don't see it much, but it was definitely scary at the time of coming out. And then lastly, is Obturandus, because of the wonderful nickname that I gave him that I'm surprised caught on, even if it's just a little bit, Amadeus.
Not even close.
Shut up. Amadeus? Yeah. So you can't call cards next turn, and I don't know. Like, this thing was probably the worst of the GRs from that tech booster, I think. But, if you... A lot of Mega Colony for the, like, at the time just seems to be like, if you know how to play against it, it's not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that at the time, Mega Colony couldn't put on any pressure, so...
Yeah.
You're paying 2 counterblasts and losing a card from your hand to make your opponent do nothing, but you're also doing nothing.
Yeah. Oh, Obturandus, we hardly knew ye. Are people even still going to play him now that Gridora...
Probably as a one-of. Yeah. Like, it's more usable now because they can actually make columns that matter.
Oh.
But, like, it's still kind of a nothing turn, and you lose advantage by doing it.
Maybe it's like a get-off-of-me card. Like a Wailing Thavas or a, stuff like that.
Yeah, but those still put pressure on your opponent by having a guard restrict.
True that, and it blows their board up.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Bluey.
Mega Colony. You know what? During our Q&A, we had a question that we missed during the thing proper, which I addressed in the sponsorship thing, about like when is one of us at Nexus Core going to play Mega Colony? We don't, and we probably won't because it's just not our thing.
It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Patreon. If you want to go support us on there, we'll consider building it for your entertainment, but like it's just not a thing we care about. So, yeah.
If we could ever set up Skype fights, I might have Mega Colony just randomly because I have almost everything.
If
they'd get a system like that wasn't as shit as CFA to play Vanguard on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
CFA is basically unplayable.
I mean, yeah. Back to you, Jaime. Fucking news or something. Better than tabletop.
Yeah, that's what we got now. But anyway, Genesis.
Oh yeah.
So I think over the past year or two, the face of Genesis pretty much shifted to Wiseman.
I mean, once they figured it out, like everything released after it was like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but it can't attack 14 times in a turn, can you? Like,
Right. And it's ridiculous because this card was useless when it came out, basically, and all of a sudden this card just became pretty busted.
yeah. So Wiseman is your first one?
Yes. And because, I think because it's such made a big impact in the meta, and it still does in the OCG, surprisingly.
Yeah.
That's because, they have a Refro set, or not Refros, fucking
Head around?
Head around at 1. So you can set up double Wiseman turns, and then Gears is just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then Gears have been topping less recently, and Overlord is in the meta now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think ZTB though is a little faster than Overlord still, so they might not have the right cards when they need it, except for maybe if they get it right away with Conroe. But
I mean,
once you get the first denial Griffin, are they gonna have the second one on time?
Yeah, I mean, the second they flip over,
they
have
the ability to rush faster too with Purge, because free damage with triggers nullified, you're probably going to be pushed to 4 damage really quickly, and then they have big columns to scare you with.
Okay.
I mean, but the second the opponent flips over Taro or, Lading or whatever their starter is, you, in your head as a Taro player, you should be going, okay, searching heal trigger now.
Exactly. And that leads into my second card, Taro.
Of course.
Taro's a stand trigger with Revelation on it, but the good skill is that when it's soul blasted, it'll restand one of your units, so you use it to abuse Wiseman to attack so many times.
It seems so innocent, doesn't it? Like, oh, it's a stand trigger that
right.
works as a stand trigger but not in trigger zone. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and she's just like waking up too.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. What's that? I'm going to destroy the meta? My God.
And Taro is basically used in most Genesis variants too.
Yeah, even in, less so in Amaruta. A friend of mine went to the Anaheim Regional with Amaruta Wiseman for some reason, and he did all right. He went, I think he went 5-2. So, that's pretty good. He made it to day 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like how timing works in Vanguard, where we're able to loophole Wiseman.
Yeah, the attack still goes through.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if it restands mid-thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wiseman was the only card that could Soul Blast on attack, so that's what made it so crazy.
Well, that's true, but it doesn't have a once per turn clause like the Grade 2 that works with Fenrir.
Yol.
Boulder. Yeah, Yol. Yeah.
Who's your third?
My third is Fenrir himself,
of
the break side. I think with the Wiseman deck, Fenrir himself is just a really good engine for a Genesis deck in general, because you Soul Charge 3 immediately for free, and then when you Soul Blast, you get to call anything from your soul, so you're actually using your soul as another place to grab your resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very useful.
And then of course you does running Fenrir really make that big of a difference for Wiseman, or is it just because you get a soul charge off of it that it matters?
Well, for one, if you soul charge your Wisemans, you can soul blast him out and have him.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's another thing. Yeah, because with Revelation, if you see a Wiseman, you're more than likely gonna soul charge it, so you can just grab it later.
Yep. And then there is also the Fenrir Stride, which is what helps to enable the Wiseman turns in the first place.
Yeah, to make him even more beefier and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got for Genesis.
All right. let's do Narukami. So, the first one I have is Dragonic Descendant. So,
Ooh,
Descendant was, I think, one of the first Limit Break units in the Break Ride era, so he was a restander where if it did not hit, you could discard 3, restand, and he gains a crit. So, because everyone wanted to be at 4 damage during Limit Break, if they guarded it, he'll restand, and then, because most decks also couldn't gain advantage very well, you were just kind of shit out of luck. And then, if you couldn't guard it at all, you just kind of pray you don't check crit.
Yeah, that was the first instance of just hoping for the best. You're like, I'm at 4, fuck it.
And then, more recently, Descendant is still being supported, so
yeah,
technically he's relevant because he exists. He's become kind of a Mimi Rush deck because he can't function as anything else, but...
I mean, you still use Descendant Sigma in Vanquisher, too. So
yeah, so at the very least, he's a decent rearguard.
Gone but not forgotten.
And then the second one I got was Vanquisher, so he is weirdly popular in America despite his medium performance.
I wonder why that is.
Popular in Asia, too.
Yeah, and then he's the Break Stride, the main boss for the G era, so he's probably still going to be relevant, assuming they don't radically change mechanics again with the new TV series.
I hope not.
And then the last one is Dungaree, because Nexus Core made it a meme.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so at the beginning we were like, Jaime asked if he used Dungaree, and Ruber's like, we'll have to wait for it, and of course you went the meme route because...
I said we had to wait for it.
I just couldn't think of a third thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sweep Command originally, because that's also a deck, but...
Nah. How can you not... for God's sake, his name means pants. That's amazing. All hail Pants Dragon. I don't even know where the meme came from, and I'm part of Nexus. We're it's just it's just kind of.
Wasn't it when you and Richard made that video about Dungaree being the best deck ever?
No, it wasn't even.
No, it had to have been before that, right? Because otherwise, why pick Dungaree?
Yeah. No,
because Miles was involved.
It was Miles and Jose. Jose is the big Narukami guy, so he's it's his thing. He has a mat that Richard custom made him with Dungaree on it, which you can find on Inked Playmat Gaming, and I'll put the link for that in the description. But let's see. Yeah, Matt, it's your turn again.
All right, I guess I'm gonna pick Tachikaze or something.
I like Tachikaze.
So number 1, I pick Gaia Emperor. Basically, without Gaia Emperor, the grade 3 from that one set,
Technical Booster,
Reckless Rampage, yeah, Technical Booster 1. The deck cannot function.
Yep.
The deck is so reliant on his stride skill to not minus with everything they do.
Yeah.
Without him, it wouldn't even be a deck.
Oh no! Interesting story. I was playing against my friends, the leaders, with Tachikaze the other day. Oh my god! It is such an uphill climb.
Oh yeah,
because he kills your stride skill when they delete you. So I'm just like, what am I doing? I was basically just spamming tank mammoths and stuff, trying to survive. It was.
You have to make some tank mammoth shenanigans happen.
Yeah. Try
to keep Chimera around for some relevant period of time. And then you just Dogma, it's just discarding 5 cards, basically.
Yeah, no, it was, also Diablo Cannon helped a lot, the one where you drop a card and he calls himself back. So that helped. But yeah, it was, I think you could make an argument that it's the best Break Stride in the game.
It's definitely the most important to that claim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely true. So my second one is Gluttony Dogma.
Oh yeah.
This was a pretty late restander in the cycle of restanders for Tachikaze, but I think this ended up being one of the best restanders in the game. Not just because it was a pretty free-ish restander, but because the extra 10k it got ended up mattering a lot more post-G guards than it did pre-G guards.
Yeah.
When everyone starts having it as 25k guards, when your Vanguard's 36, it's a big difference from 26.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
So I think that ended up being a really, really large difference. That I think what a lot of other restanders didn't have, like Victoplasma, Homer Raider, etc.
I I mean,
I
also,
think within the context of the deck, because you could nom on things and then spit them back up, you were able to keep multi-attacking with Dogma while he was still doing his thing.
Yeah.
because you were getting at the least 2 cards back, which when you eat 5, that's -5, and then you get the twin drive, that's breaking even, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last card I have is Tank Mammoth.
Of course.
It's a grade 2 8K for whatever.
But man, it's an 8K.
All right, that's great. But the real point is that this guy, he's not GB, so he can just always just end up in your hand again, or just always just end up in play. Like, you can do crazy grade 2 stuff with this guy. He turns into 11K, so he's hitting like with no boost. He just does everything.
Yeah.
It is, I think, the single most important rear guard the deck has. Like, turns are drastically different when you have a Tank Mammoth than when you don't.
So he's kind of like Tidal Assault for Tachikaze.
Totally.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Except he needs a Counterblast and a Soul Blast because Bushiroad hates us.
That's true. If they made this thing in SP, I would totally get it.
Shiny.
Shiny, yeah. I mean, like, I see a lot of players' decks where they're running like 2. I'm like, are you off your nut? No, at the very least it's 3, and you better have a good reason if it's at 3.
Wait, what? Why are you playing only 3?
Exactly. Like, I'm not playing 3. I'm just saying.
You hate winning games? Is that why?
Yeah. No. Tank Mammoth is Bay. I have him at 4. So.
I'm trying to be fair.
To be fair, ...
Please. I can't even admit to... I don't even want to talk about that show anymore.
Yeah.
I just pretend I know nothing about it.
Oh man, I can't wait for set 13 just so I can legally be doing Tachikaze stuff.
I still need to order shit for set 13 so I can do all my Aqua Force shit.
Oh yeah, I bet. Alright. It's time for Royal Paladin. So, starting off, the master of abs himself, Altmile. Not only is it the Break Strider, he's got sick-ass abs, which his first art doesn't really convey, because he's, like, facing off to the side. Why is he facing off to the side, man? Show it off. Or whatever.
Alright.
I mean, I just like the like, aesthetic of it all, where it shifted from, like, straight up knights in armor to this kind of like Middle Eastern aesthetic, and it started with Altmile, so I think it's neat. Second one, it's the freaking nutshell of the game of Vanguard, Blaster Blade.
What does that card do?
Something about retiring when it's played, but it's also got like a crazy crit trigger that restands it, and a grade 2 that searches it out, and a grade 1 that can unflip when Blaster Blade's called in front of it. Something inconsequential that I'm not thinking of.
Alright.
Give it 25.
I just like that, like, Bushiroad would never quite let this card die. First, they, like, put Royal Paladins off to the side for a while when they were developing golds, and they made him a gold paladin. And then they made Seekers, made him a Royal Paladin again, and then they just went back to supporting plain old Blaster Blade in the G era. Like, it wouldn't go away. And then my third one, and I actually have a tie for this. It's either Sanctuary Guard Dragon or Jewel Knight Sword Me. Sanctuary Guard because it was the premier Royal Paladin deck for such a long time, and then Sword Me because it helped make Sanctuary Guard Dragon the premier Royal Paladin deck for such a long time. Which one do you think is more deserving?
I think Sank Guard because he was able to survive longer than Sword Me thanks to the Blaster Engine.
He got me right there. I mean, Sanctuary Guard's pretty much gone by this point, right?
Yeah, because the Blaster Engine, the pure Blaster deck is just better than it. Does almost the same thing, but has better advantage, so you don't die.
True that.
What, you don't like failing and just dying immediately?
I mean, like, but Sword Me was such an important card for such a long time, and to the point where when it got inevitably hit by Bushiroad, they didn't ban it completely or put it at 1. They made it they put like a very special stipulation in place, which I've never seen anything before or since, where you can only run him if all of your grade 3s are Jewel Knights, and that's amazing because it's a great card, but not super broken. So they just made it easier for Jewel Knights to do Jewel Knights.
I think part of it is because he's a Legion mate for something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought the restriction was you couldn't have a grade 3 that didn't have a Jewel Knight. So there was like a grade 2 Jewel Knight deck that did play Sword Me. But had no grade 3s, right?
yeah,
If you have no grade 3s, all of your grade 3s are Jewel Knights.
he's got a point there.
Really? Even though you had no grade 3s? What?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
All 0 of my grade 3s are Jewel Knights.
You could just
I
say
think-
that? That's insane.
Actually, I think they said if you don't have a grade.
No,
Really
it's you can play 0 grade 3s and play Sword Me. You can do that.
Let me see what the specific restriction is.
No,
on their
remember the
website.
know
list
what
in
it
Singapore?
means.
Yeah.
There was a list in Singapore that had 0 grade 3s
Yeah, I
and
know.
was playing 4 Sword Me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's-
trying to look up the specific wording so I can figure
it's-
out what the correct excuse
All right,
is.
let me give you guys a basic course in logic right now.
Oh god.
So, if you have a set with nothing in it, like let's say you have a box and it's an empty box, right? You can say things like, every peanut in this box is red. Right? There's nothing in the box. So yes, every single peanut that's in this box is red, but there are no peanuts.
Or there's no the cat inside the box is dead,
Mhm.
and also
No,
not
there's
dead.
don't even bring that up. Like, it's just that, like, if I show you an empty parking lot and I say every car in this parking lot is green, you're like, that's true.
Yeah.
But there are no cars in that parking lot, right? It's also true that every car in my parking lot is not green.
Yeah.
So when you have 0 grade 3s in your deck, you can say, all of my grade 3s have Jewel Knight in the name. And you're like, yep, all your grade 3s have Jewel Knight in the name. Every single one. All 0.
Ugh, God, can't believe we got into a semantics argument. Moving on.
It's just, that's literally how logic works.
Yep.
So, going to Gold Paladins.
Great.
So, when people mention Gold Paladins to me, the first thing that comes to my mind is Prominence Lair.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, think
I
that's
just
a-
love the aesthetic of Bluish Flames.
I mean, people
Yeah.
were constantly demanding Liberator support, so
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and Liberators did get some support, but I agree with Matt with generic support being much more easier to it's better because you can have more options too. You're not restricted to like a subclan name in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for strides.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of the Bluish Flame stuff, like, checks for names, so they're forced to follow it if they want to print,
Yeah.
like, rear guards.
The main
But-
deck. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's 0 reason to create Bluish Flame Strike at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, and Glare is still a good Legion, where it has the guard restriction and the crit. You just need to get a big ass number out of him so you can hit.
Yeah. That thing was
Kinda
kind
like
of
the other-
scary in Legion era, I hear.
What's that?
That thing was really scary in Legion era, I hear.
Oh yeah.
yeah, because Legion era was have a guard restrict or a restander to win.
Pretty much. It was like Glare, Idrisil, the Great, and Abyss.
And Minerva, or
Thing Saver.
not Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he named
Thing
it, so I was saying Thing Saver.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kingsaver, because Royals had that too.
And that was pretty much it. There was for a brief period of time, there was Bloody End, but that was for a different reason.
Yeah, Bloody Ogle.
Yeah, that was quite the deck. Man,
And
people
then,
still didn't know how to play against that deck, like, years after the deck came out. I was like, what?
What does this do?
Quit giving me
It just
counter
keeps
belts, goddammit.
They just put you to limit break, like it's like a normal game. And then they're like, kill you?
So then the next card that I was thinking was Aglovale, like Oath Liberator Aglovale from the same Legion deck, so from Bluish Flames. And it's also used in like generic Liberators because what it does is you call it in Counterblast and check top 3 for a Liberator and call it, and so that's very useful in the early game. So Garmor also uses that right now too.
Is it's just like, it's so simple. It's just, I call it, I get another thing, right?
You can get another attacker, a booster, and if you get like Josephus, the grade 1, you can Soul Blast to draw a card, so it kind of becomes like the Venom Marin combo.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why I have him. And he has a good art in the Legion Rare.
Yeah, all Legion Rares have good art. There's like the gold border and stuff.
Oh, he also had an alternate art change in the Legion Rare rarity. Yeah. Pretty cool. And now they're hard to find because it hasn't been reprinted at all.
I bet.
Yep. And then the third card that comes to my mind is Gurguit. Mainly because it's the break stride of the clan now.
Yeah.
And Tayo is still in the anime, and he's
for some reason
kind of like a side main character because of Chrono and the under 20 they had. So
I don't know. Like honestly, even seeing Gurguit, the art, I just imagine Tayo's like it looks like Vincent Adultman found some armor, you know?
Yeah.
I'm Vincent Adultman.
I work at a business factory.
What?
I work at the business factory.
So
Where we make business.
I'm gonna call them units from the deck and conduct business. Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I got for golds.
All right.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good set of stuff. I'm surprised Ezel wasn't on there, but I guess you can only have 3, right?
See, I would have put Kevin all over it just to drive a point home, but
That is an honorable mention.
I can't believe he in fucking Tayo. God, Tayo's a shit player.
All right, so
I would totally watch a version of that scene where it's like them having that conversation, and then Matt just walks in the store like, bullshit!
Like, you're never even going to play that card. You're never going to trigger it or draw it. Just don't even put it in your deck.
Okay, sorry, Root Beer, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's do Bermuda Triangle. So, the first card I had was Olivia, because in terms of the generic clan, I think she's still the only real stride that you could use, is to put pressure on your opponent. Which is really, really sad for Bermuda Triangle, but them's the breaks.
It's still a good stride, though.
Yeah.
You know?
It's, like, decent, but I think the meta has moved so far past it that we really need something better.
No, yeah. I mean, it enables multi-attack, at least. And
yeah, and then...
you just get a crit for no reason.
Yep. And then the next one I had was Spica, because, again, generic, easy pressure, and...
Really good Amber clone.
It was a really good Amber clone, probably still survive for any generic Bermuda Triangle deck, although the only ones that top now are the Mimi Duo deck that draw out your entire deck and poke you until you lose. So, I would, list things from that deck, but they're all super specific and don't really reflect on the clan as a whole.
Uh-huh.
And then the last one was kind of a cop-out because I couldn't think of anything, so I just wrote Shizuku because she has been retrained in almost every grade now, and...
Who is Shizuku again?
She was the grade 3 searcher, and then she became a grade 1 that was a grade 3 searcher, and then a grade 2 that could also search grade 3s but gain power if you discarded a grade 3 too.
Oh my god.
And then now, everything in your deck gets grade +1 when she's on Vanguard as a grade 3, so all your grade 3 searching can find grade 2s.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
That is so weird.
And then, if you read Shizuku's lore, she's basically, the main character of Bermuda Triangle, so...
I mean, I haven't heard of her, or thought about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm mostly putting that down as a joke because I didn't feel like putting anything from the Mimi Duo deck.
I mean...
If I was putting something from there, I'd probably say, Darling or Peace instead, because they're essential pieces for the deck to gain advantage quickly.
I mean... I put Hey Yo Pineapple as one of my cards, so you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my BT list. It was really short because there's nothing remarkable about BT right now that isn't a weird meme.
That's so sad. I feel bad for you guys, because you're always good for 2 months, and then you just kind of slowly decay until next summer.
We didn't even get that this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, you want to talk about not good at all. Let's talk about Murakumo. I don't even have 2 cards for Murakumo. Alright, so what I have written down here is I have nothing or Yasuie. And the only reason I have Yasuie on here at all is because he's like the main stride guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, if it were like 4 months ago, I might have written Tenma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tenma was like what the deck was aiming for. But with the new support coming up, I'm not even sure if I want to be playing Tenma.
I thought Genma
So, like, what-
feeds into Tenma or something like that.
No, if you play the Genma, right, you're using resources on that turn.
Oh.
How are you going to have stuff for Tenma later? Like, Tenma needs literally all of your resources.
Oh.
And that's why I don't even like playing Tenma, is because, like, you have to sit there and do basically nothing until you get to Tenma. And somehow still get your opponent to 5 damage.
What a shame.
And the worst part is, Goma, the stride from GBT 11, doesn't even give you GB2. Because he calls one of the pieces of shit. So it's not in your G-zone. So the new rear guard doesn't even work on first stride Goma. It's like, it's so awful. So yeah, I wrote Yasuie just because, you know, he's the main guy. I don't know which one I like. I probably like the new one more. I guess I should probably have Hidan Scroll on here.
Yeah.
It's a stand trigger from GBT 03 or some shit.
Yeah.
Basically, you can choose a rear guard, make 2 clones of it, send the stand trigger back to deck, and you know they go back to deck at the end of the turn. But you know, it's like pretty sweet.
That's free.
Matt, what about dueling dragons?
That is not those cards do not exist.
Or Shirayuki, because
Also, those cards don't
he
exist.
gets all the legacy support, and everybody wants more support for Shirayuki, right?
I'm still mad. I made this joke on the disc. So somebody brought up Shirayuki, right? And I made this joke, and I said something about seasonal people who have seasonal waifus are trash, specifically about Shirayuki, and nobody got it, and I was so mad.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah.
I was just like, but then somebody said, yeah, she's cool, and people were like, haha, that's so funny. And I was like, I hate all of you people.
Okay. So
Like, my joke was apparently like 1 step too deep for everyone.
Oh my god. So not
Okay,
only are you getting into
Atlas
I am
doesn't
very
know, I'll
smart
educate
territory.
Atlas. A seasonal waifu Atlas
I get it.
is a female character that people have some kind of affection for that they change through every season of anime.
I know.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew what it was.
No, I know what it was.
Since you're not a weed.
That's true. But okay, so you have Yasuie, Hidden Stroll. Is there a third one, or is it just like
Like what?
He's basically saying, moving on.
yeah,
I don't think Murakumo even has any cards that are even worth mentioning.
Kadi Majishi?
No.
The new Grade 2 guy?
How about a Boro
I
card?
like the new Grade 2 guy, actually. The one that, when your Yasuie Vanguard doesn't hit, he gets plus 9K, no, plus 7K or some shit.
Yeah, and then like when he's
Attack
targeted,
back row or something.
he like puts himself back. That guy.
Yeah, no, not the one that restands, but the other one. But yeah.
The one that like when you try and target him, he turns into 2 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What about a Boro card?
I do like a Boro card, but he's not worth mentioning. He's not even really playable.
Well, too late because we already mentioned him. So.
Well, yeah, but he's not part of the list. He can go away. He can go. Although he is the card that, like, if I think of Murakumo and I think of art from Murakumo, I do think of a Boro card.
Okay, so a Boro
But-
card then.
Yeah, but he's not like a good card.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Hey yo, pineapple.
That's true. I did mention Asura Kaiser earlier, so.
All right, moving on. Pale Moon time. First one, and this was just a matter of closing my eyes and when I think of Pale Moon. Lukie and all of her forms. Because, actually, she is what caused me to get into Great Nature, because when BTO 7 came out, I was looking for her. I bought a bunch of packs looking for her, and I pulled a bunch of Great Nature stuff. And then I was like, maybe I should just try doing Great Nature, and then I loved it. So, thanks, Lukie. But, yeah. So, they turned her into a subclan with Silverthorns. And, they got a pretty good early game. And that's kind of it. But, you know, she's a neat card. Next one is Harry. And I'm especially happy with this one just because of, like we mentioned earlier, new Harry Stride coming to English, and that card put Pale Moon from like a D- to a B-, which that's really good. One card.
All right.
What? What's so funny about that?
Nothing.
Okay, fine. My third one, I would say Nightmare Doll Alice, just because Nightmare Dolls are their own subclan now, but like, the first thing I thought of was Darkside Princess. So, Darkside Princess.
Nice.
Darkside Princess is kind of what makes Harry really good. And I remember, like, when they revealed that card, I'm like, I'm running this as a 4-of instantly. 14k on its own, and it goes into Soul, fine with me, buddy. It's coming back out. Nightmare Alice does have, like, history on her side, but I'm putting Luke Air in that camp, so fine. I don't know. I'm just happy about this new Harry Stride, and I can't wait to use Pale Moon again. So I'm done.
Stuff's gonna be good.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm guessing my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Everybody's favorite clan. Link Joker.
Why did you save this one for last?
I don't know.
Why not?
Why not? Right. So, the first thing that comes to my mind is Chaos in general.
Of course.
So, since the beginning of Chaos, there was Chaos Breaker Dragon, which by itself made it to the meta, and actually just like made other decks just unplayable or hard to play with because they were dependent on rear guards, of course, because of the Link Joker mechanic. And then later on, we got to the Stride format where they got Chaos Universe, where it's like, I'm going to rip a card from your hand and put it as lock in any circle that I choose. So it made it hard for clans that could have disappearing fields to cope with. Because now they're going to have one front row locked. And then if they go into the second universe, they're going to lock the other front row. And now you can't attack from the front row anymore. So sack face. And now you got into Deluge and Crisis, which make Chaos even more stronger, and Deluge does 2 cards from hand. And if you have 4 or less, 4 or less, it deals with damage just cause. And the damage is a card that was from your hand, and it goes face down, too. Pretty insane.
God.
What was that?
Chaos. I remember, like, Link Joker's premiered in BT12, but it wasn't until like BT13 that people were like, "Oh, it's the thing with the scythe." That's it.
Yep.
God, Link Joker in general is just kind of the bane of my existence.
Link Joker's okay.
Ugh.
It depends on the clan you play. Some people don't care. Some people hate it.
Part of me thinks that I play like Pale Moon is one of my main clans just because all of the stuff goes back in Souls, so there's like the subconscious fuck you.
Yeah, I agree.
Joker, yeah.
Similar to Granblue too.
Yeah.
With Hollow.
Who's your second one?
And my second one is Messiah in general, where it started off with Alter Ego and then going into like Amnesty and all the many different forms. It's one of the subclans from Link Joker that is pretty unique compared to the other ones. Usually it's like Space Invaders, but Messiah just looks like something else.
they look like aliens to me.
Yeah,
but
now instead of alien space monsters, we get alien spaghetti.
Yeah. Spaghetti monsters, right?
I mean, I gotta say, Link Joker is definitely one of those clans where all 3 like major archetypes, subclans, whatever you want to call them, are very unique from each other.
Yeah.
And, Messiahs were always kind of my favorite because it was more a combo deck than a control deck.
Yeah. I like it too because you can do multi-attack.
Yeah. If I were to pick one, I would have put Amnesty just because it was the original, like, oh god, I need this to play any Link Joker, but it's like $40. No. Like,
yeah, that was rough.
That was a rough time.
Didn't it reach like 80 to 100 at some point because every Link Joker player needed 4 of it?
It did, and then over time you needed less, and then Exilus came out and you needed more, and then you needed less again.
Well, no, you didn't need less between Amnesty and Exilus because set 5 was the next set with Link Joker support.
That's true.
So you could Chaos could get away with less, and then I think Messiahs needed more because of Exilus, and then Chaos could use less because of Universe.
Yeah.
It was also that Chaos became an actual deck at that time, so now there's more than just one Link Joker deck running around. So now you got more than one deck fighting for amnesties too.
Yeah, and then but the thing with Amnesty is no matter what Link Joker you were, you wanted to run it just because of the mirror match in the very rare case that would happen.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So, hooray for Amnesty. And then I like how when they reprinted it as a rare, but it was still hard to pull. So at first, on all these online stores, they were like $1 because they assumed, oh, it's just a rare, right? And then they kind of figured it out. But before that, Richard apparently bought 40 of them, and they only gave him 10 because they figured it out before then. But just the yeah.
This was before Bushiroad figured out the whole reprint thing.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they do this every set now. They're starting to catch on.
They finally realized that reprints are nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and then who's your third?
It is Glendios. Mainly for the anime, because they made it the first win condition. That was besides 6 damage, right?
Yeah. What did they do in the show with it?
What did they what?
What did they do in the show with it?
Well, it was the final boss in the show, aside from Rebirth, but
yeah, it was the guy who took over I forgot his name. It started with a T. He was the one that represents Ezel.
Oh, Tsuneto?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Not Tsuneto. Isn't it the OTT player?
Yeah, that is. I can't remember his name, though.
Tsunagi or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah. But anyway, he got taken over by some Link Joker thing, and by the time where it got to the end of the season, that's when Glendois made an appearance, and he just world end the original guy that he was taking over, and then he faced Aichi or Kai, I can't remember.
He faced Aichi, and then Aichi won by conveniently revealing that Alfred also sends locked cards back to the deck, not just rear guards.
Yep. Just shafted him out of that victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was I've returned all my rear guards to the deck. Ha! But they're all locked. Oh yeah, it also does rear lock cards too. Wait, what?
Yeah. I thought it was funny. It even said, or your locked cards.
Yeah.
Just more of kind of a fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in the Stride era, we start seeing more of these 0 damage Glendios tops and stuff like that, and people were thinking we're thinking more like a Takuda. Yeah, there you go. We're thinking it was a mean deck or something like that, but it started topping.
But then now decks with unlockers, and then Messiah's being able to unlock stuff for free, and all these free guard restricts and resanders made Glendios kind of unviable.
Yeah, it's harder for them. Harder for Glendios now, yeah. And that's all I got for Link Joker.
Oh, Link Joker. We hardly
Alright. So my last one is OTT. So I put Tsukuyomi down because, while she wasn't the original boss, she was the first mainstay unit that Misaki was using in the anime, and then it was the one that became meta for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think overall it's still a really popular deck that people play, and I think while Ichikashima was relevant, it was second to Battle Sisters.
People
if not better.
It was relevant, but I'm looking at recent tops in Japan, and OTT's still topping pretty
Yeah,
consistently.
it still gets in there. It's just I think it loses to Kagura and Link Joker now.
Yeah.
And then the second card that I chose was Amaterasu because it was the original OTT boss that we had, and then she's been retrained in multiple forms, so I think during Limit Break, when she got a Limit Break skill, I think she was an alternative deck to Tsukuyomi with... Was it Coco?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Amaterasu Coco, kinda did a thing. And then more recently, she became our 25k G guard, so she's still a staple in every OTT deck now because of being our only good G guard, and also being the GB8, which we have because it's there, I guess.
Oh yeah, it is a GB8. The card's good too.
Yeah. And then the last card I chose was Ichikishima because she made OTT relevant single-handedly for a whole set and a half.
Again, still relevant, still topping.
Yeah. Like, it gets in there.
It's not like, holy shit, the walls are coming down relevant, but it's still relevant. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like it's dropping down to like tier 2 now, where it will get into top 8, but then ripple out before top 4, where people actually see it and consider it relevant.
I think it's like tier 1.8726.
That's coming from a guy who very publicly decried 1.5.
3.14.
Well, I don't think it's that low. Maybe 3.12.
Yeah. That's what you made me think of when you started saying decimal numbers. Huh? Hi.
So I think OTT kind of dropped into tier 2 now, but Ichikishima I think will keep them relevant for a while because a lot of decks are reliant on G guards for defense now.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, is it me?
Yep.
All right. Last one I have a Dimension Police. And
nice.
The first card I chose was Die Kaiser because this is the coolest card.
The original Great
and has the guard breaky thing that people love. That doesn't make people upset at all. And also gives a crit, which is pretty good with the guard break. Again, that doesn't make people upset at all.
It's so scary, dude.
You just close your eyes, put down your PG, say, if you got it, you got it.
Yeah, I don't
it's
understand
even worse
the
when they have a
people who
Laurel.
are like, I'm gonna put 3 PGs down, then he'd have to get 2. Like, dude, he's gonna kill you. Just take it.
Just put the one. If you have 3, like, might as well. But like, if I don't have 3, I'm just gonna put 1 down and be like, all right, dude, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I have 2, most of the time I was just like, all right, 1 to pass.
Yeah. 1 great 3. Have fun. The second card I have is Dayusha, because it's like the first grade 3 Dimension Police unit I believe they have in the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Used by what's his stupid name? Kenji?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his full name. They just call him something else. They call him Kote or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
and then it's also a Legion mate for true Ultimate Die Kaiser, and you still go into that as your backup plan. Yeah,
there's a mat where Die Kaiser and Dayusha are shaking hands, so it's like the two big baddest robots teaming up to fight whatever bullshit. And then the last card is Commander Laurel. It's a grade 1 4K from BT4, not GBT4, BT4. It says whenever your Vanguard hits, whenever your Dimension Police Vanguard hits. No. Yeah, probably. Anyway. You can rest 4 Dimension Police rear guards and resand your Vanguard. Which is pretty good. Especially when you're a triple drive. And especially when you have guard break.
Especially when your opponent's first strike is a Die-Hawk.
Or especially when your opponent's grade 2.
Damn.
I've won a lot of games at grade 1 with just Laurel, actually.
Really?
Yeah, like I was just like crit on grade 1, resand, critting.
You sick bastard.
Sometimes you just throw your hand on the table, man. Just go for it. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Die Kaiser, Dayusha, and Laurel. That's like, yeah, and like Laurel is, I think, arguably holding the clan down.
Probably true. They it just makes it so they can't print a bunch of dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they can for other clans.
It's a shame.
Whatever.
All right.
But
what?
They should be less afraid since DP is like actual dog shit right now.
Yeah, even with Die-Hawk. All right. Lastly, from me, we have Great Nature. So, number 1, with all the bullets, we have Crayon Tiger, which is arguably, aside from Spita, the last surviving Amber clone in every single Great Nature deck ever. So this is pretty much the only thing keeping the clan halfway decent, unfortunately. And every other card that has been like super relevant has mimicked the effect in one way or another. Those being Tuskmaster and the new Blue Belly. The fact that you can get a restand and a life insurance out of it is just so freaking good, and you can't not run it at less than 4. And why the hell didn't Bushi reprint this in the Zoo Booster? Can anyone answer that for me?
I think they just desperately want you to stop playing it.
Yeah, but just because they want us to stop playing it, that doesn't mean it's not good, you know? Like, the only way to get people to stop playing is to make it obsolete, unfortunately. Or to ban it or something. But
which they've done for almost every other Amber clone, except Crayon Tiger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they think they resolve it by putting it all in grade 3s instead.
No, you just run it alongside Crayon Tiger.
Right.
Exactly.
You know? And,
Yep.
like...
Also, Great Nature needs to call grade 1s anyway, because they mostly replace themselves.
Yeah. And also...
So,
yeah, and all your grade 1s are life insurance things that become vanilla after, so you don't care what they're there for after. So you're like, fuck it. It's fine. I don't know. I mean, I do like that the new Blue Belly has the success ability so that I can do crazy shit with lesser Rider, but, like, you know, the fact that Crayon Tiger's got the life insurance thing on it is just too good. So good. The second one, I would say Big Belly, but there are so many freaking pandas that, like, I'm just gonna say all the pandas. Like,
Kung Fu Panda.
Little Belly, Pond Belly, Mini Belly, Big Belly, Other Big Belly, Stride, Gray Belly. It's too much.
Hey, one of my entries was some seal dragon thing, so no one's gonna blame you for that.
Fine, but, like, honestly, I'm not even that big into pandas, but just, like, that's the Great Nature archetype that I like playing the most, and it's just because of the playstyle. Like, Great Nature could just be the toilet archetype from Buddy Fight, I would still play it. I just like the way it plays. And, like, I'm kind of sad that I got all the SP packs for Great Nature, but now with Blue Belly, I don't need to use the old Big Belly anymore, so it's like, what a shame. I think Big Belly's
It
got...
happens.
Yeah, Big Belly has the award for one of the worst stride skills in the game, I think. Behind the original Yasuye.
Well, the original Yasuye kind of does something. I would put things like original Sharhat or original Thavas.
original Thavas stride skill is actual dog shit. People forget about it, and I don't think it matters.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Would killing that thing have helped you? No? Okay.
I consistently
it's
forget
hours.
about it, and it rarely ever affected the game.
Decks now can just generate so much advantage
Yeah.
that retirement doesn't hurt
Mhm.
sometimes for certain decks.
It depends.
Well, like, one that you don't really have enough control over.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I
this
mean,
is not
granted,
enough
it
to be
is
significant.
free, so you're like, whatever, but still.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was gonna say with your SPs, Atlas,
Yeah.
where you said they're useless now, basically.
No, not all of them. So, like, the Sage Saint Big Belly, he's at 2, which is, like, kind of useless. Shellmaster, I thought was completely obsolete because they have the new, like, Big Belly specific PG, but it's still around thanks to my third one, which is Chat Noir, the break ride where they just made a sub-clan around him because fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
screw it. We're gonna make it so you can break ride and then put the break ride effect on your stride, and it's a cat.
And then now you have a Sunshine Vert clone.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah. So I think it was one of the better break rides back in the day too, and then especially with Crayon Tiger and all that stuff. It's so crazy, and I love it. But yeah, so for SPs, like Mini Belly's still relevant. The Teacher's Cane of Affection Big Belly, I run at 1 in my current build with Blue Belly and Talented Rhino. But, like, you know, that's gone. Sage Saints at 2. Shellmaster's an honorary professor now. Like, just basically my whole SP pack got ripped apart.
Oh, shit. Because I was just going to say, like, I have 4 SP Thavas, grade 3s, and I'm not going to use all 4 anymore either because of the new Thavas.
Yeah. I mean, like, the original Big Belly is just gone.
That's true. Yours is worse.
Gone, Geo.
I have these two SGR Wailing Thomases that are going to be very shiny flip fodder for Alexandros.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I think you still play one though, at least.
Jaime, is there anything you want to plug?
Oh, yeah, I can plug in my channel.
Go for it.
I am one who gets crits, Commander Jaime on YouTube. I put up deck profiles, combo videos, some CFA stuff, whatever comes to mind. I also am a contributor to the Force of the Ocean blog, and that's on wordpress.forceoftheocean.com.
Yeah, but you can find us at Nexus at Night. You can find me at Atlas Novak or at thegiantawkwardbear.wordpress.com.
You can find me on Twitter, Wiggums, W-I-2Gs. I'm on Proof's Discord. I'm on the unofficial subreddit, the unofficial not subreddit Discord. I don't even know if there's a link to it actually. So no, I'm not there.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse on Twitter or at lightningfish.wordpress.com. I'm also on Proof's Discord.
Yay. Oh man. So we hope you enjoyed these plans in a nutshell. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Root Beer.
And I'm Jaime.
And have a good night, everyone. I want to take the time to thank anybody who found this podcast. I also recommend sharing it with your friends, family, anybody who likes Vanguard. You can find us on SoundCloud or on your podcast app, that little purple thing that goes in the folder of the stuff you can't delete, like stocks. Who uses stocks? Anyway, you can also tweet me, Atlas Novak, so at ATLASNOVACK. You can also tweet at Nexus at Night, NEXUSATNIGHT, or you can tweet the Nexus Core YouTube channel, so at NEXUSCORPS. Be sure to check out that YouTube channel. We have, card fights and deck profiles and all that good stuff.